All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to get into a problem that has, really shaped the UK for generations. That economic divide between the North and the South. Now, it's a super complex puzzle, but there are some big ideas out there designed to try and solve it. So we're going to break down 4 of the most significant strategies.
I mean, it's a huge question, isn't it? When we talk about this kind of inequality, we're not just talking about numbers on a spreadsheet. We're talking about a challenge that stretches across the map and across generations. So let's explore some of the big ideas that are aiming to bridge this very gap.
Okay, first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. The North-South divide. Well, it's this long-running economic imbalance. You can kind of think of it as the story of how London and the Southeast have historically pulled in more investment and generated higher incomes than a lot of other places in the UK. So every strategy we're about to cover is really an attempt to rebalance that picture.
So our first strategy is a big one, the Northern Powerhouse. I'm pretty sure you've heard the name. This was launched as a really major flagship policy. And the ambition? Well, it was to create this super-connected, globally competitive economy right across the north of England.
So, how's it supposed to work? Well, the core idea is to turn northern cities into these powerful economic magnets. It's not about just one thing. It's a whole package. We're talking about attracting investment, boosting key sectors like tech, and, this is absolutely crucial, connecting everything with better transport. The thinking is pretty simple, really. Make it easier and faster to do business across the north, and growth is going to follow.
And that point about transport is so important, it really needs its own moment in the spotlight. Because upgrading the country's physical connections is seen as just fundamental to strengthening its economic connections. Let's take a look at the massive project that was supposed to do just that.
And the poster child for this was, of course, High Speed 2, or HS2. The original vision was absolutely massive. A brand new, state-of-the-art rail line that would slash journey times between London, the Midlands, and the North. But here's the key takeaway. It was never just about a faster train ride. It was designed to be an engine for business connectivity.
Okay, and this is a really big but, that grand plan has changed. A lot. The northern parts of the project, those routes that were meant to go from Birmingham up to Manchester and Leeds, they've been cancelled. This is a huge scaling back of that original vision, and it definitely raises some big questions about how that northern powerhouse can be fully connected without it.
Right. Let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about these huge top-down infrastructure projects. Now let's flip that on its head and look at something more ground up. This brings us to our third strategy, local enterprise partnerships, or LEPs for short.
So what exactly are these things? Well, think about it like this. On one side, you've got local government, focused on public services and long-term planning. On the other side, you have private businesses, focused on market opportunities and growth right now. And LEPs, well, they're kind of the handshake in the middle. They're these voluntary partnerships designed to get both sides pulling in the same direction for their local economy.
And what do they actually do? Well, their job is to get down to the nitty-gritty, the real building blocks of a strong economy. They're all about supporting businesses to create jobs, making sure local people have the right skills for those jobs, and then connecting all that great research from universities to real-world industries. Basically, they're trying to build a whole local ecosystem where growth can happen.
And that brings us to our final strategy. This one is all about creating economic hotspots. They're called enterprise zones, and you can almost think of them as little incubators designed to get business booming in very specific targeted areas.
The logic here is a pretty clear 3-step process. So, step 1, you roll out the red carpet with incentives, things like tax breaks and simpler planning rules. Step 2, businesses see that and think, okay, this looks like a good place to be, so new startups and expanding companies move in. And step 3 is the payoff. All this new activity gives the local economy a real boost and helps it diversify into exciting areas like tech and renewable energy.
So we've looked at 4 pretty distinct strategies: a huge regional vision, massive infrastructure, local partnerships, and these targeted economic zones. And that kind of begs the question, right? How do all these pieces fit together? Do they work on their own, or is a combined approach really the only way forward?
This table sums it all up really nicely. I like to think of it as a toolkit for trying to fix the divide. You've got the Northern Powerhouse for that big picture promotion. You've got transport upgrades for connectivity. You have LEPs for that local teamwork. And you have enterprise zones for very targeted incentives. 4 different tools, all trying to achieve the same thing, a more economically balanced UK.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about.
with all these different approaches on the table, from high-speed trains to local handshakes, what do you think is the single most crucial ingredient for actually closing this divide? Is it just about money? Is it political will? Is it giving power to local communities? Or something else entirely? That's a big question, and definitely one worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.